Welcome to the Product of the 80s podcast, brought to you by Truth Entertainment Films and Triple A Productions. I am Black V, my beautiful co-host tonight, my partner in crime, my ride or die, the one that we always keep a kitty full of money for bail money in case you go to jail, is CL, also in the building tonight, known from Pussy Talks as well as Queens with Attitude podcast. What up, though?
What up, though? I'm your girl CL, and tonight I'm your hostess with the motherfucking mostest. Make sure y'all check out my show tomorrow night, though. It's called Pussy Talks. Don't run my shit together because it'll turn into a whole nother word. But I'm here on the Products of the 80s podcast. What's up,
y'all? What up? We got some amazing, beautiful guests and handsome guests. Let me make sure I do it right. And I'm gonna go ahead and start off with the queen in the building. She's been on multiple podcasts of ours on the Truth Entertainment Films, as well as she's an amazing and big time podcaster. I just seen her post. Her numbers been blowing up out the roof. Oh man, I was at one point I was trying to get her to mess with us. I might have to go get a job podcasting for her. What's up, Alora? Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey guys, hey, it is your girl Alora D from the Alora Hour Network, and hey, how y'all doing? Thank you for having me back. I appreciate being here. So y'all can check me out whenever I'm filming because I be busy now. We usually film on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9:45 p.m. Catch us over on YouTube. Make sure y'all share and subscribe.
Thank you for coming. I'm gonna go ahead. This man right here, I just got hip to this brother. A person suggested him when I made the post about needing somebody, and then I went back and checked out all his posts on Facebook. Very, very knowledgeable, and not afraid to hurt some people's feelings at the same time of giving them the truth, and not afraid to have controversy if it's going to lead to the fact of getting to the truth or better understanding or knowledge. So I want to go ahead and welcome Frank Wade to the show. Welcome, brother. Welcome. Thank you for coming on.
Hey, how's everybody doing? Appreciate everybody and being able to have an opportunity on this podcast. Usually I would be where I do my little set stuff, but look like I broke the whole thing with the phone, so I'm just gonna be kind of right here. Las Vegas, Nevada.
Nice. I don't know. We were breaking up a little bit. I don't know if that's
Okay,
can you hear us now? Yeah, we hear you.
If you could lay like that on the podcast, I want to be on the podcast too. Look like we can cuddle.
Like I said, I'm appreciative of being here, and contributing to the conversation.
All right, that's what's up. Tell me about the Salt and Pepper Brothers to my right.
Hey, free.
Hey, it was good. Appreciate you having me on here. This is the second time I've been on the show. I was on probably sometime in the summertime, wasn't it?
Yeah, you was on. I believe. Yeah, you was on the Bucket Naked podcast. That's the wild one. That's the one where late night and conversations could take any turn.
Yeah. I was on that one, and I appreciate you having me back on the show just to give my opinion about what's going on with Kanye.
All right. CL, did you want to kick this off, or did you want me to tell the listeners what we're here to discuss? You got it?
We're going to start the show off real positive real quick, because I'm a friend of Kanye, period. I ain't here to say nothing at all, really. I just wrote a show, and I just want to hear how y'all guys feel, but we're going to start it off positive. What's your favorite Kanye West song?
I only know two, and I would have to say Jesus Walks.
That was my first quote of the night. Since everybody want to talk about Kanye, they say you could rap about anything except for Jesus. That's what he said. What's your favorite Kanye song?
Oh man,
good one.
I'm gonna say, yeah.
So many of them. I mean, I do like the Jesus Walk as well. I like, what he did with Jay-Z, that collaboration he did with him as well.
Otis?
Yeah, I love Otis. I like that one.
Okay.
He's just a genius. I mean, when I really started really seeing how he really get down is when he made that Welcome to the Good Life. You know,
Yeah.
he took off on that.
That was a
He's
good
took
song. I
on
love
that.
it too. What about you, Salt and Pepper?
I might have to say when he redid Shaka Khan's song Through
Through
the
the
Fire.
Wire? That's
Through the,
To the
yeah,
right. Yeah.
yeah, Through the Wire, yeah.
Oh, I
That
do
was a
remember
song
that
my
song.
mom used to play all the time, so you know.
Yeah, I like that one too. Yeah, I
Yeah,
like
it's so many, man.
There's so
I
many.
guess I know 3 now.
What's your favorite Kanye song?
Oh man, it's probably gonna be. It was either gonna be Through the Wire or the one with Jesus Walks is always up there, but it's Kanye, so it's so hard. He's got like so many. Like the one I like the one with him and Twister. Why don't we play some? He holds a lot.
Oh, Celebrity Overnight or something like that, right?
Wait, I thought it was
Yeah.
Slow Jams.
No, it's
I
not
get
cool,
gonna be. That one was so. I love little Marvin Gaye.
No, it's something.
That's Jamie
It's
Foxx.
oh, play something these hoes alike, and I can make you a celebrity overnight.
Kanye went.
I think that was Kanye on there.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna listen to it.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
think.
so Freedom.
Sorry about that. My signal was messing up. I put it on Wi-Fi and it went from bad to worse.
All right, so let's
But-
jump right in. Use that next question for the end of the show because I know homie over here can't stay long. So I'm gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it a little bit slow. We all know what he said, blah blah blah. But my whole issue with the situation is freedom of speech really free speech if you can still lose basically everything? Like we see Kanye's livelihood being stripped away from him before our eyes today. I'm gonna ask the question again. The question is freedom of speech really free if you can still lose basically everything, like we see Kanye livelihood being stripped away from him today? Alora, you got that shit next.
Okay, so I would say in the 90s and the time before that, freedom of speech was free. But now you're going to pay a price for your beliefs, because if your beliefs does not align with other people's opinions or their feelings or their emotions, it's going to cost you everything that you have. So there is a price for your speech is no longer free.
Can I answer next?
You got that shit next.
Okay. I believe freedom of speech, there's still a thing called freedom of speech, but freedom of speech only is really about limiting what repercussions or taking away the repercussions that government and the actions government can take against you for your freedom of speech. That doesn't stop from individuals or individual companies and so forth and so on. You can say whatever the hell you want to say, but that does not stop somebody from feeling or reacting however the hell they want to react, as long as they are not acting within the form of a government entity or represent the government, I should say.
I don't think nothing's changed. I think it's still the same. But like Jamal said, that it's just more the repercussions to it, and the fact that you got sponsors, you got people, other entities that's bought into your brand. It's always been people censored. Think about Dick Gregory was censored in the 70s and the 60s. If they came on, they had come on late at night. There was a little more freedom to say, but then it was repercussions, like they took Malcolm and Martin's life when you spoke the truth. So it's just different ways that different brands are doing it nowadays.
Okay. What about you, Chocolate down there?
I think
I'm gonna call him Big Hershey. What's up, Big Hershey?
I like that.
Hey, I might have to use that for some branding.
I like that.
Perspective that I take on it right now is because, and I think it's more less since I've become a law school student, that there is a thing called freedom of speech, but then freedom of speech is limited, and a lot of people don't.
So why don't they just call it limited speech?
Well, it's just going to be, those are kind of, little type of things you got to understand when you're dealing with law, because you got to look at it like this. I can say basically anything I want as long as it doesn't present a threat or that I'm doing something that's going to harm you. Okay, I can't make speech that's going to harm or make a threat. I can call you the N word all day. I can call them the H word all day. I can call you any kind of word there possibly is to be called, and not have any, any kind of, when I start doing things, let's look at it from a criminal or if I say something that's discriminatory towards a group or persons that are in the public figure, then I can set myself up to be sued or anything of that nature. Remember, the key word is if the people or the person is in the public eye, like a politician or something like that. And then I'm gonna throw something at the end here concerning politicians when they speak with things as it relates to the law. So the problem with Kanye, I don't think they really got on him concerning, all the other stuff. But people keep saying, well, when he said that slavery was a choice, or he said
They didn't care about that.
they didn't do anything. Of course they didn't, because they couldn't. But once he went to that thing of DEFCON 3, that changed the whole scope and ball game. Now people do the semantics and he was just saying that this and this, but you can't go into that because they can use that as a weapon against him politically. Because to say I'm going DEFCON 3 and also being former military, that's like saying, okay, I'm going to state of readiness, and within 15 minutes, I'm going to annihilate you. And so that's how they're trying to present it in what he said. And what was going on is that he said, hey, I'll wipe y'all off the face of this earth. And that's where his problem is coming in at with this particular case. Now, you look at politicians. Remember, when they say things or lie and different things, by law, as long as the politician is acting in official capacity, they can say whatever they want and talk about you, tell a lie about you.
You can do all that long as you don't talk about the same group of people as Kanye talked about, like as a politician. You can say whatever you want. You can talk about it. Listen, our president right now said you're not black unless you vote for him.
And nothing can be done to him about it.
You know what I mean? Nobody had no problem with it. But if you say something like that about those specific people, the Jews, that's going to be shut down.
Yeah.
Well, that's
standard. They know what they can do and what you can't do.
That's the control that they have over. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you can go ahead. I didn't even realize you was talking.
Oh, my bad. Oh, all I was going to piggyback off of them is that presidents, vice presidents, political figures, even other people in society have said far worse about other races than Kanye has said. What happened is Kanye said something about the wrong group, and it was a group that already was feeling pressure, and they felt like they needed to make somebody an example because they couldn't make an example out of Donald Trump for whatever reason. That Kanye West made himself easy pickings to be exposed, and he kept going. He had plenty of times to walk himself back off the ledge, but Kanye's biggest thing is being controlled, and he fights being controlled. Hence why he broke away from the Kardashians. He felt like they were controlling him. Hence why he doesn't like to be on meds, because he feels like it's a form of controlling him. Because when he's on meds, he doesn't have that creative passion, that creative thing, and he feels like it's just tampering him down and taking away all his creative freedom that he has. And so that's one of the big things. So for them, it was more about, really, it was a lesson. It was more or less Kanye chose to be used as an example.
Yes. So let me piggyback off what you were saying, Jamar. So because that's what I was about to speak about was Mr. Trump. So Mr. Trump was able to say that Mexicans were very bad people and they were racist, and then he could speak and spew whatever he wanted to spew about the Muslims, and then put a travel ban on the Muslims from coming in this country. Not one person batted their eyelids at all. But here's the thing about Kanye. Kanye was speaking out against the Jewish community because he's not lying. They run everything. They prevent certain people from getting ahead. But the problem is no one cared when he said what he said about Black people, because who are we to the world, right? But the thing is, the Jewish community wanted to put him in his place and remind him, I don't care how much money you have, you are still a boy. And this boy got out of line. It's not about him making those comments. They can care less about that. It's about the money that he accumulated. It's about him calling Pierce a boy on national TV, and this black man not putting a muzzle on it, and Hollywood or higher ups can't control this man. So they wanted to show the black people, I don't care how much money you get. I don't care the status that you get. We still run the world. We still run you. Now sit your ass down, boy. That's what that was.
All right. No matter what, no matter if you drive a Mercedes coupe, you still a nigga in a coupe. That's what he said. Kanye quote for the night. So let me ask this next question real quick, because that was a great point that you made. So I want to challenge you in this next question is, why is it okay to minimize the effects of slavery with statements like "get over it," "let it go"? Nigger, that word is for everyone. But the Holocaust is glorified with statements like "never forget," as if both events weren't equally fucked up. I've never heard anyone say "get over the Holocaust" or "kike." That's a racial discriminatory word for Jew, is for everyone. But everybody wants to keep saying nigger is for everyone. So why do you think that is?
Again, I'm all with it, okay? Because this is my understanding now. First Amendment. Again, for me calling N-word, okay? I can't prosecute you for that, or even hold anything. But if I use that word in such a way where it presents some type of threat or form of harm against you, now I can use it as a weapon against you. Where these people are very fine line at, even with Trump, as he's talking and he's saying Mexicans are lazier or whatever he said. He never said it in such a way where it presented what was called a threat or a harm. And by law, unless the form of speech is given by threat or harm, nobody can even mess with you. And then when you're speaking,
we can't. Sorry to cut you off. Well, we can raise the question of how he presented that to the world. Could have been inciting, because what he said were they were criminals and they were rapists. Yeah. And if we allowed them into our country, these are the things they were going to do to the women. So right then and there, he basically called to arms for his fellow Caucasians to get in line. But
remember, it's how he worded it.
But it can
he worded it very
precisely. That can be interpreted as a threat. Just like when he told those people at the Capitol, "Let's go." Storm. Those are action words.
But the thing is, you got to go to, again, what is the element of it? Okay, what does the law say? What are the elements that create what is called a defamatory statement? Okay, within that element of a defamatory statement within the law, this person really has to be in some type of form of in the public figure. Like, I can go and make a defamatory statement against a regular Joe, right? And that regular Joe can come against, I'm going to sue you, and I can beat the case. But if I say it against somebody that's in the public eye or figure, to where that can cause a person any harm, anything, that person can take everything from me. Is it fair? I mean, I argue with my professors about this kind of stuff every day. No, it's not fair. But this is the way that they wrote the script. And I keep telling us as Black people, if we want to beat this stuff, what we have to do, we have to get ourselves involved in the legislative process, from down to local government all the way to federal government, because that's where you got to beat them at. And until we do that, I'm telling you, you control the legislative and making the laws and different things like that. That's all you need. They control the laws, they control the guns, and with the laws and the guns, that's power. And
you need to control the purse.
Right.
Control the purse.
Controls the purse. And until we get ourselves involved as a whole, until we get ourselves involved in the legislative process of everything, because laws are being written every day. Things are being written.
Right. But what you saying, because think about it. When Michael Jackson got in trouble, it was like late 90s, 2000 with his one song, "Jew Me, Sue Me." He didn't threaten nobody, and he got in trouble for that. It's just going towards those people. It has nothing about being threatening. It has nothing about. It's like just speaking the truth. He said, "What's Mariah Carey's ex-husband?"
Tommy.
But what it
Nick McCann or Tommy Mottola.
Tommy, yes, they said he said he was a racist. They tried to get him in trouble for that.
But remember
the people who in control. They're in control. They hold so many things. Rothschild, all these. It is what it is. But like the topic, we allow them to. You know what I mean? We don't hold them accountable, honestly.
We don't have the power to hold them accountable.
We just allow them to do it.
We do.
We allow them
we
to
don't.
do it.
We don't hold the with the Jewish the way the Jewish community. The Jewish community was able to do it.
The only time to come around this man is during the election. True or not? It's the only time to come around.
Well, not anymore. They don't come, especially black men.
Do, bro.
They don't need black men no more. All they need is black women, and then all the other minorities. Like
because they're dismissing us because we're locked up, or because we feel like it don't make sense to vote.
Right.
Well, I know every black man right here, right now. I know you vote. I know you vote. I vote. My father voted.
Yeah.
But the thing is that we don't hold them accountable. We keep giving people bypasses. Right. As long as we keep giving people bypasses of saying stuff and just being happy, just them acknowledging us.
Right. But
they're gonna keep abusing us.
Right. But like the gentleman above me, Mr. What you call him?
Avery.
Avery.
No, wait. Mr. Dark Chocolate over here.
The one next to CL.
Okay.
Like he was saying, though, we do have the power. We really do. The issue is where it starts at for Black people, for us to gain control of the power and to kind of get to this position where the Jewish people are, is we have to first take hold of our community. The way we take hold of our community is we get these churches straightened up together, because the money that the Black community gives to the churches around them and to these liquor stores and to these people who bring their stores who are not of our race, all that money goes to them, right? It does not benefit the Black community. So when it doesn't benefit the Black community, it doesn't go to the education system in the Black community. Thus, young Black boys and young Black girls aren't educated properly when it comes to politicians and voting and things that actually affect us directly. It's not programmed into them enough. So when they get older, they realize you need to vote. You need to pay attention to the elections in your surrounding area because it affects us. They don't think it affects them. They think, oh, this ain't got nothing to do with me, but it does. And it's going to keep on lingering through my grandkids, through their grandkids, if we don't get a hold of our community and check us and run people who don't mean us any well out of our neighborhoods.
Accountability.
Yes, and then turn in the criminals in our neighborhoods too. I know they say it's snitching, but if we get rid of that snitching attitude, guess what? We'll be able to have things, but we keep these criminals locked into our neighborhoods and our communities where our communities can't grow.
Before CL goes on to the next question, I wanted to piggyback on what y'all was saying and bring it back to CL's main point about the question. The reality is that the difference between us, and it's not fair that we're told to move on past it. What happens is that, for one, the Jewish community, and I know it's going to sound fucked up when I say it, and I'm willing to take the flack for it. The Jewish community, aware of what happened to them with the Holocaust, also don't continuously run around and sit there and say Holocaust, 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 Holocaust every time something doesn't go their way or they don't get something. We don't have that. Everything y'all said is correct about getting in there, voting, and putting people and taking a stand from from Congress and from another perspective in politics, from local and up. And your local matters a lot more. Your local is a better start to start at than trying to worry about a higher level. But what we don't have is, what we lack is Black infrastructure. When I say Black infrastructure, is that we tend to create great things. And then what we do is we fall victim to the trap of lack of ownership. Lack of ownership means that Bob Johnson sells BET for $1 billion. Everybody's applauding, like, y'all know what y'all talking about in business. That man made a smart move. No, the ownership that we had in BET made it priceless because the effect and the way that it was able to spread the news told by our faces, our stories, and control the narratives controlled by people who look like us, who understand us, where we come from, was there. And when you take that away, none of us here, I can guarantee you, none of us here probably at all watch BET anymore. None of those programs that they had on there, none of those things that were informational, people that they had come through there. So when we take things and we create these major, amazing things, and then we sell them. We sell them out. We give them away because we only see the dollar sign. We feel that money is power. But the way that money is power is the one thing that Donald Trump always brags about. The reason that the Jewish people were able to pull off what they pulled off against Kanye West is because they didn't work at these companies that banned Kanye. People, they own them. They own them. They own MSNBC. They own Universal. They own
media,
yeah.
But
they got a helping hand though. That's what people understand. If I give you a whole country a piece of land that was not yours, and they set you up for life. We never had the opportunity. None of our people.
Well, wait. Let's be careful because you got to remember, even in America has an ugly history discriminating against just almost every race except for the Aryan. America has a history of discriminating almost against every race but the Aryan thing. And a lot of Jews were persecuted even in coming to America. Not like us. I'm not making a comparison like us. But they faced
I
it
can
like
change
the
my
Chinese
name, bro. I could change my name,
bro. But they're a proud people.
From whatever it was to Thomas to whatever. We can't do that. So I don't want to hear that.
I know you, bro. I know. But if you can't,
I got what you're saying. But look,
yeah.
A lot of these Jews. But think about it. The Jews, they're from Poland. You're not, huh?
But there's Russian Jews. There's Russian Jews. There's Palestinian
but like Kanye
Jews.
said,
there's a whole bunch of them.
I don't have no problems with Jews. I'm a Jew, so I can't be racist, which is true. We are the true Jews. And that's what people keep forgetting. And that's also what got a lot of people mad that he kept saying, we are the true Jews.
Yeah, Hebrews are black.
Hebrews
they still
are black.
Kill Jesus, but it's okay.
Yeah. But but that's the thing. When you start opening people's eyes, definitely these younger generations that didn't hear the things that we are saying right now, that's a problem. And like he said, I'm willing to take the L. I'm willing to take the loss. I'm not worried about it.
But can I say something really fast? Do you know what America watched though? America watched the Jewish people come here and they went through whatever they went through, right? And it was a horrible thing. It was very, very sad. But America watched them come over here and they thrived, right? The Jewish community, like you said, they own basically everything. So you have some Caucasian.
But why did they thrive? Well, why did they thrive?
They thrive because they stay within their own community. They didn't look outside.
Right. Why did the Chinese community thrive when they came to America, even though they were persecuted and everything else?
That's debatable. The Chinese
gave them a piece of land.
But that's debatable. We can't say that the Chinese they thrive because they did have some adversities. They really did.
Right. No, I'm sitting there saying even through their adversities, I'm sitting there saying everything you're saying is correct. But the key thing is that they did what? Those communities they stayed.
Yeah,
they
stay together. But who do they look down on? That's what we keep forgetting.
But we didn't have that option, though. We didn't have that option because when our ancestors were slaves, they were pitted against each other. The difference when people say that Black people can't come together, they don't understand why. Is because it's been so many years of us being pitted against each other. I don't like you because you're lighter. I don't like you because you're darker. You're a house slave, so you think you're better than me. You're a field slave, whatever, so you're better than me. So this has been continuously throughout our whole line. So that's the problem why we never really came together as a community. And when we did, and they seen us growing, because let's not forget about Black Wall Street. And when we was doing that, what did they do? They divided us again. So
you're repeating what Kanye said. You know, you're repeating what Kanye said about slavery. Basically, the everything he said after slavery is a choice, and then he went into it about the free mind and being able, the conditioning and the mentally still being slaves and everything. And it basically went into that about when he said slavery was a choice. He wasn't talking about us being enslaved. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Sierra.
All right, and I understand that, but we're gonna shift gears. So we're gonna cool that down. We're gonna shift gears real quick because I do have another question. Since you guys are talking about building community and the crab mentality, do you think Kanye bringing up George Floyd's death was taking things too far?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I believe so. That was again, and what people don't again are not understanding is that you got to look at these things and what you say as it relates to what does the law say, whether it's criminal or in a civil manner. And this is what they keep us from. People can say all day long, fuck that Constitution, excuse the language, or that don't mean, but it does. That
Mhm.
piece of paper gives the guidelines to everything we were saying earlier with that. When he's saying George, his family now, because of the death, like somebody was debating with me, well, he's dead now. That don't matter. And Kanye, I said, yes, it does, because his family now, and because of what had happened, is in the public eye. When a lot of people don't know that these are elements to law civilly, they call it tort law. Okay,
Yep.
then when you are in the public eye and you can lose financially. You can lose just by somebody saying something about you. You can be held liable for those comments you make civilly based on what the elements say. And one of those elements in it, which, a lot of people that say, oh, they can't do this, they can't do this for the law. Yes, they can. And because a lot of people don't understand this, our people don't, they understand this, trust me. The more and more I read these cases that go back into England and into the early 1900s, I mean, white folks out here suing people for everything, and they learn it, and they know this stuff, and it changes daily. And we are not up as a community. Like as my brother here said, we have no structure. It's no structure as far as a whole in the black community. And we got to start. We got to start somewhere. And I always tell people, if you want to win this game legislatively, and until we get in the game legislatively and learn how that game is played, like they're playing that game, because they're doing, they're acting. Trump said a great thing when he was in the debate with Hillary. He said, if you didn't like what I was doing, you was a senator, you should change the laws. And a lot of people miss that. And when Kanye said about George Floyd, he made a defamatory comment against him, against his family, and now that man is in the public eye, and they're going to sue him, and they're probably going to settle it. But they got a great claim of what they're doing with it for $250 million right now.
I agree.
I just felt like it was kind of shitting on your brother to even bring that shit up in his rant. That's why I thought it was fucked up. But do you feel like he took it too far, Laura? What's your opinion?
I absolutely think he took it too far. My problem was Kanye allegedly gave $2 million to the education fund for his daughter. If you didn't believe that this man was done wrong,
he didn't think it then. It was not until what's her name showed him the documentary, Candace Owens.
Okay, and that dog, her, my thing with Ye is I think that he wants to make a change in our community, but he doesn't know how. And I think he thought bringing up George Floyd and lashing out at the situation was going to shake us up in a way we'd be like, dang, Kanye, you're right. We should do this and this and that. And I think he felt miserably with that. I think that he wasn't speaking out of hate. I think he was speaking out of if we don't do drugs, if we don't do that. And I say Kanye is not elegant with his words.
No,
and
he's not.
He tries to get a message to our community through, but sometimes he does it in a way where it's sickening and it's disgusting. And I would say that that's the one time I really wanted to punch Kanye in the face, because everyone knows, like, usually I'm on the Kanye boat, but with that man is no longer with us. His trial played out in the public eye. It was messy. We watched this man die in front of us. That was traumatic. That was so traumatic for the world to see that. You don't normally see white folks come in arms with us and agree. And a lot of them did agree with this. And you don't often see the cops brought to justice. And we've seen cops brought to justice with this. And I just couldn't understand, why would he shit on that man's name, excuse my language, on that man's name like that, and try to destroy what, goodness his kids got out of, well, not really goodness because he's gone, but any fond memories of him that they had left, so that's my issue with it.
Did he say what? I didn't hear the rest of what he said as far as what he said about George. Well,
He's-
how about this?
Conspiracy theory he has.
Yes,
Just like with
off
JFK.
again, JFK. It's off of the documentary
Yes.
that he watched. And my whole thing, this is what I don't like about it. And I'm gonna be frank and I'm gonna be honest. I call bullshit on the whole thing. I feel like there's been so many other people who have said, again, way worse than Kanye West, but the family, just like everybody else, sees a pot of gold and they're going to strike because fuck suing Candace Owens. She's not worth anything. I'm going to sue Kanye West. Because at the time he was worth $2 billion or more, but now he's still worth $400 million more than I'll ever get. But it's we pick and choose again. We pick and choose when we want to strike in this country overall. The American thing is we pick and choose when we want to strike. Candace Owens made a documentary. Candace Owens, as well as other people on Fox News on a daily basis, have repeated what Kanye West just said, and none of them people sat there, and the family did not sit there and go make a lawsuit. But you know why? It's easy for niggas to attack niggas. It's easy for niggas to turn around and say, you know what? He hurt our feelings. Never mind the fact that what you need to sue the nigga for. He just sat there, regardless how he felt. He gave your daughter $2 million.
Jamar, let me try to get you to see it from a different perspective. Kanye reached out to that family, okay? So they probably felt like they had his support. And if you feel like you had the support of someone and then they turn around and shit on you and that shocks you, that's a shock factor.
Did the $2 million check clear?
$2 million ain't going to
$2 million check.
No, it's not about that. And the brother said he was dropping his lawsuit. He said, I'm going to drop the lawsuit. I just want him to keep my brother's name out his mouth. When this stuff arose, and Kanye started losing everything, the brother said, I would drop this lawsuit. I just want him to keep my brother's name out his mouth. When he said that resonated of Kanye, damn, you supposed to be the homie. You supposed to be the homie. But I'm going to teach you a lesson. Sometimes, we got to
like. That's what I understand. Listen, I mean, Floyd is sad how he got murdered, but they weren't that concerned about him throughout his life. You know,
throughout his life.
You can't just act like now all of a sudden he was a martyr. No, I'm not going to put him up there with Malcolm. I'm not going to put him up there with Malcolm. I'm not going to put him up there with Farrakhan. And that's a problem I have. They try to put him up there with the greats. The ones I'm not. They all have flaws, but I'm not going to do that. Now you understand what Kanye's saying. It's a bigger conspiracy. What he was saying was going on. Mm-hmm. Like he was saying, like think about how the Democrats, with that whole big movement with the police brutality, that's all they were pushing. And so he was trying to, put that fear in the blacks, put fear in the inner city, put fear in the people to get them out to vote. That's what Kanye was trying to make people understand. It wasn't about really what they're doing. You think the president cared about Floyd? You think Carmella cared about Floyd?
We know that.
But think about it. A lot of people don't think about it. Even with our schools in Columbus, they took the police out the schools, which really they were keeping a lot of kids safe. It was a political action. Democrats weren't thinking, "Oh, get them out. This is gonna make everybody happy." Now we're like, "Oh, we need the police in the school. What's going on?" Because y'all wasn't thinking about the kids. You were being political. And you pulled them out.
They was basically being what they do to us best. They hype us up. They use us to get our vote. Like I believe the emotional. They get us where our hearts are. They pull in our heartstrings, get past whatever legislation they need to pass, and then they say, "All right, go on back over there."
But shouldn't we hold our community accountable too? Because why should there be police officers in our kids' schools? Shouldn't these parents be shooting their kids' asses?
Hey,
going to
I totally agree. I see it all the time.
Everything on these leaders.
So two things can be right. Two things can be right. What you're saying can be true, and at the same time, till we do that, obviously we need police at our school to keep our kids safe. That is the good kids, because these other people can't control their kids, unfortunately. So we make
sure they put the right police there. We make sure we put police officers there who can articulate and communicate with these children and understand where they're coming from. Stop putting these police officers in there, who be eating chicken with no seasoning.
All right.
Can I say this too? Can I go back on this too about again going back into this power and I try to stay there because I'm really trying to get our people to understand this where all of this stuff comes from. Okay,
Power
number
is
one,
knowledge. Knowledge is power.
exactly. And okay, when we talk about this power, legislative power, everything starts from the census. Everything starts from there. That's where it all starts at. All your power is going to be based on how they're going to report on numbers with the census. From there, it's going to deal with the representation we're going to get. All of this has to do with the electoral college, everything. And it's all within that law and constitution. And we are not hip on a lot of this. So what's going on? Now let me get to this part. Let me blow your mind with something here. Everybody
Come on,
talk
Big
about voting.
Come on, Big Hershey. Talk.
Everybody talk about voting this and that, okay? Listen, they need our vote. Let me tell you why. Okay?
They need our
The
vote.
most a Democrat ever got from the white vote was Jimmy Carter. He got like something like 49% of the white vote and won the presidency. The next was Bill Clinton. He got something like 47%. The next person after that was Barack Obama. He got 44% of the white vote and won the presidency. His second, when they went all off on him, he only got 38% of the white vote and won the presidency. They understand this. This is why they try to keep us from the polls. This is why they try to keep us from going there. Because number one, the white vote is split between Republicans and Democrats. Number one. So they need our votes. And that's why they do what they do with us, because they know if we come out in numbers, Republicans will never win an election.
And that's why they start with this stupid ID thing.
When we talk about that we need to get on it the second time with only 38% of the white vote. So where did he get the rest of it from? He got it from us, and they know this.
Bro, what you're saying is right, but you're missing the key thing that our numbers have decreased, and the numbers that they have now started to reach out with, and their target audience is now the Hispanic community.
Listen,
we are the minority. They need us, but not
bro.
like they need us, but that's why they stopped targeting. Listen, what I'm telling you, that's why they stopped targeting black males and went to black females in the Hispanic community.
They've been targeting black females,
bro. But that's what I'm sitting there saying. Like yes, they need us. They would like our vote, but they feel comfortable now. Like we don't need. I'm gonna say it like this.
Do you understand Latinos vote Republican?
That's why
Latinos vote Republicans.
Yeah, there are some that do. Those that follow the Catholic faith, a lot of them still vote
Republican.
Hey, CL, you're in Georgia, right?
That try to vote one way. We are the only group of people trying to stay loyal to people who are not loyal to us. We are the only ones. And the people we promote and we supposedly love, Carmilla, Auntie Maxine Waters has been in office for like since 20 years, who hasn't done nothing. And
bro, but you know why?
Like
you know why? It goes back. We all know why, and we talked about it earlier. Because yes, you can vote, but the difference is nowadays is that you keep these corrupt people in office, and then the people you do put in there now have limited power, limited access, because now everybody goes where the money is at. That's why you have all these people. What do they call the ones that can sit lobbyists? You got all these lobbyists. These corporations control our government now.
So we don't have that.
One thing you have to remove nepotism. If you remove that, then these guys will be held accountable also. And then also CL's in Georgia. Sorry, CL, 1 second. Let me get this off. CL's in Georgia. Georgia had made headlines for the Republicans trying to suppress black voters. They wanted to make sure we couldn't mail our ballots in. They wanted to make sure they went after the older black people who actually went out and voted and gave them all this flack about their IDs and stuff like that. So our black vote matters. It matters.
But you're speaking about a predominantly black state. I mean, not predominantly.
It wasn't just Georgia. It was in PA too.
You got. I know, but you're talking about they do that in the predominantly black areas. Yes, but they gerrymandered. So the Republican, both parties are guilty of it, but the Republican Party has gerrymandered so much to get around that. That's what they do to get around it. How you think they keep winning Ohio? They gerrymandered the.
Quit saying
That's
that.
right.
Think about it. The woman, the council member in California, the Hispanic lady, she's doing it. She's doing the same thing, trying to get more Hispanics and push blacks out. Gotta quit looking at Republicans and Democrats because we really need people on both parties.
Right.
We have to.
But you can't. But you can't say that to our. You can't say that to our culture because the minute you sit there, you're right. I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah,
I'm agreeing with you. But the minute you know, all of us know how our culture is. The minute you walk around like, yo, I'm black, I vote Republican. They go like, oh, this dude, this brother, he against his own people.
Hey, I want y'all to understand this too, that we don't look in. In order to understand the future, you got to hear what Benjamin Franklin said. One, and if you all get a chance to read this. It's his ordeal for expansion.
Can you say that again? Because you cut it. You cut out.
Benjamin Franklin wrote an observance on the expansion white race. It was in 1751. Look in paragraphs 24 through 26.
Cite that shit.
Benjamin Franklin says himself, the entire planet is full of black people. He says the only white people in 1751 were Anglo-Saxons and those in Europe, and where they had now come to America. He said the Germans were black, the Russians were black. He said all of Africa was black. He said the majority of the people that came over here, he said even in Pennsylvania, which they called a place where Germans were coming in, he said these people were black. Come over here basically and take predestined to us. And he gave his points in this observation for how whites would a lot more of us than when you get to. Do you know what they do now when they're born? They put on their birth certificates that they're white. We stand there in the world, there's only 1,000 to maybe 1 billion white people in the world. The rest are people of color.
Dying off.
1 billion people on the, but they control us through legislation from the money. Congress holds the purse. From there, you got the weapons. You got those three things.
I'm gonna say something right now that you guys might not even like. It is not the white people trying to hold us back. When you guys think about it, most business owners who own businesses here in the United States are not white. They're foreigners.
No, they're not. No, they're not. You're right.
And those companies are the ones who use the discriminatory practices against us. But they put the white people at the face of their companies. And we often see the white guys sitting there. So what black people are doing, it's always the white man holding me back. No, it's the people who have not really contributed anything to the United States of America holding us back. And they're the ones who see us less than. See, that's the secret. And black people need to wake up and see that. And we need to stop using white folks as an excuse of holding ourselves back, because black people it's always the white man. It's always racist. It's always that. If we would focus on us and stop talking about the threat outside of our community, and we focus on us, we can deflect that shit. People don't understand it.
You're right. We did it 12 years after slavery. That's when we created everything. We were out surpassing the white race those 12 years. We were out surpassing them. And then what did the president do? He took the land back that was given to us. And then Rutherford B. Hayes from Ohio struck a deal with the southern states to remove the troops off their land. That's what he did. Because for those 12 years, we outpaced them after slavery. We outpaced them. We had congressmen all in Congress. We outdid them. And then they changed laws, and then Jim Crow came in. And until we understand that if we get inside that legislative branch and start making those laws, controlling the money,
Mhm.
that's where we're gonna win.
Hey, slavery was a choice, and we still choose to be enslaved. We still choose to take
It's
the
mental,
easier
yeah.
route. Mental slavery. Mental slavery. You want to know what
I
kept
agree with
all the
that.
people? You want to know what kept
Mental.
all the? This is what Kanye was telling people. They just wasn't listening. They only let TMZ give them the click, and they ran with it and didn't watch the whole damn thing. He said slavery is a choice. 400 years, and we got all these people, and we had the numbers. All these
Y'all
people,
number.
you got 40 to 1 slaves on the plantation to one. Okay, maybe the master in his family, the slave
About to
master
say
in his
5 or
family.
7.
Five or seven to 40 damn slaves. And the mental thing, again, yes, there was conditioning, but that's part of mental slavery. They enslaved you with the religion. They enslaved you by your skin tone. They enslaved you by so many things. And when we did have people who made the choice, who stood up, who fought, but you want to know who took them down? Their own
Own
people.
people.
Their
Facts.
own people sat there and took them down to stop the
Because it
movement
was
from
the
growing and
Muslim
whatnot.
community who took Malcolm down. Let's not act like white folks did it. White folks ain't did
Nah,
that.
it
That was an inside
was a
job.
government. It was a government. It was a part of it.
I don't believe it was the government. I believe it was literally the Muslim community because Malcolm started waking up. And he started speaking out against the Muslim community because he realized they weren't really who they said they were.
Because the world is not black and white, like you said. The world is not just black and white.
It's not, but the world was taught that it was just white folks, and it wasn't. It was our own, like that's just like slavery. Our own people
but
us
Malcolm,
into slavery.
you're right. But Malcolm was sitting there saying that what the Muslims were doing, they were doing the same thing, just teaching them that it's only black people that's Muslims. Like he said when he took the trip, and then he seen the world, and especially this country, we are so ignorant to the world. And then so we sit there and we take it like everything revolves around us. All poor, most black people will think that most of the poor people in the world, until you tell them otherwise, most of the poor people in the United States is black.
Well, let me reword that then, because I'm not trying to talk about the whole Muslim community in general. I'm talking about the organization, the Muslim community that he was a part of.
The Nation of Islam at that time.
His leadership here. They were the ones who took him out. Like, because it just don't, we can get into that another day because I got so many theories on that, y'all.
Hey, man, I got to get ready to get out of here to head to law school, but man, I'd love to come back, man.
Bro, we gonna I'd love to have you come back, bro. I'd love to have you come back.
Hey, man, I like what you're doing, man. Hey, sir, could you give me the link of this? And
yes, I will. Yeah, I'll give it to you. Yes, I will.
This is I get your information too.
Yeah, sure.
Because I want you on.
Okay, because this is an awesome program,
platform and chance for us to. I appreciate you and thank you, brother. Your knowledge is definitely appreciated, and thank you for getting us working to get us another brother-in-law. We need that.
Man, that's one of the reasons I decided to do this, man. To go here, because it's like
go out there and represent that black magic.
Yeah, and any like all social media.
Oh, there you go. So where I got you to, and I want to say this because I have I was educated today, and I was outraged at first by everything that was going on from our people, like basically joyous and happy and celebrating, like Kanye losing all his deals and everything else. And I'm gonna say this to them because this is one of the most popular phrases. Y'all didn't do that. They did.
Right.
like Callan said, God did. No, it wasn't y'all. They did.
Right. But you know what, Jamar? What makes me so mad is I was, when I seen that, I was so sick because I was like, you guys want to let them jump Kanye? Really? That's what we doing? That's what we doing as a black community. We okay with these people who try to suppress us and hold us down at every angle, and y'all okay with them jumping one of ours. Well, he said bad things about the black community. Well, rappers say bad things about us every day in their
Rappers kill 50 niggas in the song and ain't nobody running
They
around talking about they
poisoning our
anti-black.
Y'all, but y'all okay with that?
Yeah, they okay with it.
Kanye said
Listen,
that.
yeah, they okay with it. Yeah, we're okay with it because we've been conditioned. We're still mentally enslaved. The black life to us doesn't mean nothing unless somebody else we can kill each other every day, all day, any day, all day, 24/7, 365. Shoot little kids in a McDonald's drive-thru while they're waiting for their Happy Meal. Nobody raises an arm or whatever. And you want to know what black people sit there and say? Oh, well, I don't worry about that because most of those people get held accountable by the system. Nah, again, somebody else cleaning up our mess.
Period.
Why we not cleaning up our mess?
Right.
Why
and
we
you know,
not?
And you know what's so crazy is I don't know if you guys know Dennis Page, but listen, me and Dennis used to butt heads about stuff that he would say all the time. And it's so crazy because most of the time I disagree with everything that he says. And now I'm starting to see some of the things that he says make sense. And he'd be like, see, Allure, see what I'm talking about? It's like every day I see something that happens in the black community, and then you see people on Facebook, free little boo-boo. Nigga, he just killed like 5 or 6 people and 2
Free Big Meat. Free Big Meat. And how much drugs he sold?
Right. Like your mama addicted to drugs probably because of him. And you let him free?
So let me ask y'all a question though. So it's so easy for the world to identify Kanye's anti-Semitic statement. However, no one can acknowledge Trump's or others that are like him racist statements without defending what he said is not being racist. Help me understand that. Like everybody immediately seen what he said was wrong, but when these white people or other people say racist,
as notable people
say racist shit, people are quick to defend, oh, that wasn't racist, they not racist, instead of saying that they was fucking wrong. And their livelihood is still intact, but Kanye's being stripped of everything. Why do you think that is?
Like we said from the beginning, it's a group of people he attacked. About to say, think about it. They made it seem like Michael was crazy. He was fighting with Sony.
So I knew you was going to answer first. So the question to you I ask is, so are the Jews off limits? Like everybody at school could be roasted except for the Jews? Are they off limits? Pretty
much just like the big time dope boy. Unless you want that smoke, you ain't gonna say nothing to him. It's a jungle everywhere. But honestly, you gotta think Michael. You gotta think
Bobby, Ricky, and Mike.
You had even before that Sam Cooke. But think about the music. He was trying to get publishing. Mm-hmm. Sam Cooke, honestly, he got murdered.
Yep. My biggest fear is they do try to do that to him, and I don't want that to happen. But that's how they try to silence our people, unfortunately.
Yes.
And unfortunately, it'll be one of our people who do the silencing.
People closest to you.
I'm gonna say this because I don't want to. I want to be fair, and I learned this today. This is what I was going to say earlier, is that what we have to remember, as well as there are basically people of all races that have taken advantage of us, and I'm sure we have taken advantage of other people, but not to the effects that have been taken advantage of us. One of the biggest people to help Black people with their movements, and y'all can go check it out and go look and see, has been the Jewish community. Most of your record label, most of your early record recording artists, most of your early movie stars, a lot of businesses that got started because there was influent Jewish men and business owners who sat. Wait, I know what you said. I'm getting there because Russell Simmons talked about this. He said, "Now was every deal fair? No." He's like, I'm gonna be honest. He said, was every deal fair that they cut? And did some of our people get whatever case in the process? He was like, but out of everybody else in this country, the only person at that time, because they could sympathize with us as far as I don't think people realize just how fucked up the racist. I mean, we not as Black people we know, but we don't seem to we seem to think that we the only one that this country was racist as fuck to. The Irish dealt with it.
Listen, we didn't know.
Nobody
they got to be cops.
There's a difference.
They got to be cops, man.
You're right. In their own neighborhoods.
Employment.
In their own neighborhoods.
They got to keep their family. Listen, they got to keep their family.
I'm not comparing slavery. What we're talking
No,
about
I got
is the
that.
racial,
I said, listen,
the
I
prejudice
said, slavery. Just
treatment.
go through Jim Crow.
Okay,
I
yeah,
said,
through the
let go
prejudice.
slavery.
Okay, so therefore, what I'm sitting there saying is that there are other races who felt the wrath of America's heavy prejudice hand.
But they put
I'm
their
not.
feet on our
I'm
neck
wait,
too.
wait. Let me finish. I'm
I
not
want
saying. I'm not comparing anybody's
I
pain
got you.
to be less or greater than. But
I was
so,
agreeing.
and because it's hard for us, just like we don't like nobody to sit there and tell us that their pain is worse than ours, it's just as offensive to tell another group that their pain doesn't. We know what ours
Yeah, we
feel
can.
like.
Yeah, we
No,
can.
we can't.
I
We can't.
We can.
But
We
Jamar, I
can.
don't think nobody's
Nobody's more hated than us, man. And that's a proven fact.
I don't think anyone's
We
saying
are
that their
hated.
pain was less than ours, because let's agree the
I'm
Holocaust.
not saying you guys. I'm not saying you guys.
No, I'm not saying that.
I
I'm
say
saying
me.
Black people in general. The Holocaust was some horrible shit, okay? Because
They did it to
if we were
blacks too
allowed
in
to
But the Holocaust wasn't
just
the
all
only.
Jews.
But the Holocaust wasn't just the racism towards Jewish people wasn't just in Germany. Here in
I know.
America,
But I can speak. But we're going to speak on the Holocaust because that's the biggest known one. That's what everybody knows. Not everyone knows that the Jews were.
But I know, but that's why they can't have no conversation with the people, because they're ignorant to the fact of understanding the whole story.
But we can't say that currently they're still being discriminated against, because
No,
guess
we
what?
can't say
They own
that.
stuff. But Black people, the reason why Black people still say this is because we're still discriminated against.
Yes, but and I get that.
You go when you're listen. There was an experiment where Black homeowners would have to put white people pictures in their homes just to get fair market price for their homes. That is discrimination. Still, that is still people of America holding us back. That's why Black people always bring up slavery. That's why they're always saying our pain is real, because you don't see Jewish people getting murdered in the streets right now. Because if they did, each and every cop who murdered them down, we wouldn't need the mark.
Can I ask you a question?
Community will hold them accountable.
Can I ask you a question? Not to create a debate, but let me ask you a question. What is the largest number of people? What is the largest race to get killed by unarmed cops?
I can't give you the numbers to that. I'm not even gonna falsify it.
Not even number. I mean, just off what you would feel. Would you think or feel that?
Okay, so let me answer it this way. Jamar, I can't speak on other races. Do you know why I can't speak on other races? Because I see my people. I can speak to my people's pain. That's like, I can't speak to the Jewish community pain. I can't lessen their pain. So I don't know how many people which race were killed the most by police. But let me tell you why I feel the way I feel about my race. Okay. I feel what I feel about my race is because of things that happened in the past. Kids being hung from the trees still 3 years ago. I speak to police violence against Black people because of Rodney King, Tamir Rice, things still like that going on. So for me, it's like, if I don't see a Jewish kid in the news getting killed a lot, I'm not going to know this is happening. So I can't be in an uproar about something I don't know about. Now, if I heard about somebody going up there hurting the Jewish people, I'm going to be uproar. I'm going to be upset. You know why? Because they're human.
Well, I know you will. But you got to understand, for us to even be having this conversation is something of a rarity and not of a normality amongst people in our community.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what I'm trying to say is that we can't want for everybody to hear, to see, and recognize our pain, what we've gone through, but say, well, I don't want to hear that what you got going on. I don't really care about what you got going on, because you can't say I want you to care.
But Jamar, what you forget is the Black culture has a history of standing with almost everyone.
I don't care.
Even when the Indians were going through what they were going through,
they
Black
still
people
enslaved
supported
us.
them. And they're still going through, and we still supported them. When it comes to this country and people being done wrong, Black people support them. When we see Mexicans going through the stuff that they were going through with their kids being put in cages, it was a lot of Black voices out there representing them. But you don't see that for us. You don't see that for us. You see some people from different.
And you're correct.
They all
but you're
have
correct. But
different
what's the difference
to fight for them? Listen.
But what's the difference? What's the difference between
Jamar?
That's the biggest. The question you just asked.
For us?
The question you asked.
And say, what are you doing to my brothers over there in America?
I'm gonna answer. The difference is
the difference is. Time out. Let's read some of these comments, okay? Facebook user says, I have an Irish surname. They had my family as slaves because not only black people were enslaved, it was a popular thing. Mexicans were enslaved.
They tried to enslave. They enslaved everybody they could. We just the ones that was able to survive their bullshit.
Everybody hates the white man. I'm gonna be honest. It's okay.
Yeah, they know there's the devil everywhere.
Says they got paid and we're still being ignored.
That's right.
The Jewish, if they're selected white on the census, yes, they are. We are hunted for sport, and nobody supports us like we support them. So I definitely.
But you can't say there aren't. Okay, who was the biggest supporter of the Black Lives Matter movement?
Black people, I guess.
The Jewish community. If you went to any, if you went to the sad part,
you know the person who ran Black Lives Matter wasn't actually black, right?
I know. Most of the people I went to rallies. It wasn't being led by no black. It wasn't no niggas there leading that shit.
No.
But then we have to
dissociate
ourselves with the Black Lives Matter because they conned a lot of families. So the Black Lives Matter movement was not for the Black lives. It was a good idea.
Now that's a whole nother discussion. That's a whole deeper discussion about Black Lives Matter.
They seen the opportunity. They seen the opportunity again to profit off of black pain,
to utilize it. So, but again, it goes back. I'm sorry, Sia. It goes back to what we said earlier. We don't have the black infrastructure to do these same things that are done to us, so we can make these changes or get these things that we need that are beneficial to us.
What's the point of a black infrastructure when the black community is at baits with each other all the time?
All the time.
Because
think of how people went at Bill Cosby
and suffering.
Like Bill, think what Bill said. But
you can't say people make money off our pain and suffering.
They do.
Niggas rap
people
all day.
Got so mad at Bill because he just told the truth. And then
right, but Jamar, who makes the most money off of rap?
Jews.
You said who makes the most money off of rap? I'm not arguing it. Okay, it's like, yo, you can't say like he didn't say who makes the most money. They make money. We make money.
No.
We live in a capitalist country. We make money.
Rappers and artists make pennies. They make pennies compared to what the record label.
So we just got through arguing about a billionaire.
Because people make money off of our pain. The black pain sells. Black pain sells. That's why they have artists singing about heartbreak. That's why they have rappers singing about how they had to sell rock to pay their mama's bills. Black pain.
Yes. I'm not saying they don't make money.
They own the movie industry.
Yes.
Think about all the shows and the movies they did back in the 1930s, 1940s. Us as blackface, us being shiftless. Those all Jews.
But who was
we're not gonna blame it all on the Jewish people because
what are you talking about?
But you keep taking out of it accountability.
Yes,
nobody forced them niggas to do that shit. When Jim Crow ended,
we can't blame everything on everybody outside of our community. Ain't nobody tell people to pick up the damn crack pipe. They chose to pick up the crack pipe.
How we get the crack? We're talking about
because they brought crack into the neighborhood. They brought it into the neighborhood for white folks. And ain't nobody tell black people to pick up the damn crack pipe.
Ain't nobody make you pick up the bro. If you
put the crack in the community,
bro, we'll never get to.
Who put the crack in the community?
Brett Avery, you're right, but we didn't have to do it.
Now I'm not gonna pick it up. It's a choice.
Slavery was
we'll never black fathers out of communities, bro. Who took the
bro? If you
drugs was a choice, apparently, but really,
it's a choice.
Bro, wait a second.
It's a disease after you smoke it.
Right. Listen. Wait a second. You're right. Who put it in the community? But who the dumbasses that picked it up? Chose to go sell it. Who the dumbasses that sat there? No crack killed. Everybody yelled about crack killed our community, but niggas will celebrate Big Meech. So what are we doing here?
Ain't nobody put a gun to Pookie head.
Hold on.
Well, they did put a gun to Pookie head and tell him to smoke that shit.
Hold on. So look,
they did make
I'm not saying they're not with flaw. We are flawed people, but we deal with a circumstance, which is messed up. A lot of dudes we know that going down that path really had bad circumstances. They didn't have a chance. They got chased out the school system. They were told they were dumb. They were told that they couldn't do anything. That's
what was their parents at?
Huh?
Where was their parents?
on the
That's
corner.
the parents saying it to him, though. That's the problem. We have parents saying the kid wasn't worth nothing. You have people in the school saying they're not worth nothing.
That's right.
Let's be real. They don't have opportunities. The only opportunity they had is honestly the slanging.
But now,
right.
what's the excuse now? But what's the excuse now?
What's the excuse now, bro?
A choice.
Listen. What's the excuse now? Generational.
So let me ask you.
But generational
right in the head.
Generational can be broken though.
Yes, it can.
Somebody has to be broken. Right in the head.
It's a skill.
Listen, if everybody kept the mentality that you're talking about, we wouldn't get the Harriet Tubmans. We wouldn't get the Nat Turner. We wouldn't get the people that break it.
Who's the recent Harriet Tubman? Give me the recent Harriet Tubman.
We ain't got no recent Harriet Tubman because all these hoes be shaking ass.
Kanye is the recent Harriet Tubman. He trying to tell you niggas it's a choice.
And who was making fun of him? Listen. You know I've been on Kanye since forever, and I've been saying Kanye 24, and you was laughing at me. I'm telling y'all, I'm not a big supporter, but I just see.
I understand what he's saying too. Yeah,
you know what I mean, and it's like, yo, you need somebody who's going to disrupt. That's all.
And he is.
He is going to disrupt. You do need it, but
Trump.
that's what got Trump.
And that's why we need to support and protect Kanye. Hashtag protect Kanye. Bill tried, but he did it in a different form to Kanye. And I think Kanye knew that. Bill tried to buy NBC so that Black people had a true voice. They took his ass, and a bunch of women who's out of nowhere, but all the women that he worked with, none of them could speak bad about this man. But all of these women were supposed to believe them.
Except for one.
Some of them lied. Some of them lied, and they admitted to lying. And it's like, this really? Okay. All right.
So let me ask this question, because y'all went way to the left. I don't even remember what the fucking question was, and I wrote it. But let me ask y'all this question. That was great dialogue, and I appreciate the energy, but I want to make sure we're facilitating this.
All right.
Like I started on a positive when I write a show. I always like to end on a positive. So do you agree with anything that Kanye West said? Like anything?
Bless.
Thank you.
Yes.
I believe that our people are being brainwashed. I agree with that. I don't agree with everything that he said about the Jewish community.
But he said more than that. So I quote, this is one of the things that he did say that I found profound with him, because you got to listen to Kanye from inside out. He be having some gems in there, but then he start fucking it up if he talk past it. He does. And it's so crazy that we highlight all the negative things that he said. But one thing that he said to me that was profound, because I only had like 2 hours to listen to all this shit about Kanye. But one of the things that he said that was profound to me is, when a Black man gets pulled over with something negative in the car, anybody in the fucking car go with him.
That's true.
If a one Black man does something positive, they only choose one nigga at a time. And y'all allow that shit.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I found that was profound at what he said.
Mm-hmm.
If everybody in the car goes to jail for that one gun charge, but if one person makes it to the NBA or one person makes it rapping, they only take that one motherfucker. Nelly is the prime example, but Nelly was a humble motherfucker that he took everybody with him. So I feel like, a lot of the shit that he said was negative in there, but he did say a lot of positive things.
Okay.
So I don't want us to look over that. So I ask you again, did you guys think he said anything positive or anything that you agreed with?
There's a lot I agree with. I agree with a lot of things he says, minus the George Floyd thing. Only in the sense of I'm too ignorant to make that comment on the whole George Floyd thing. As far as the calling out the Jewish establishment, I felt like you can make an argument, like we had this conversation, and you can make some valid points without attacking or threatening or being hateful. Because, like I said, without Jewish people, Russell Simmons was like, basically there'd be no Def Jam. There wouldn't have been no Apple Bottom. There wouldn't have been no Fat Farm. There wouldn't have been a lot of these different things that we have that some people who don't have that intent or weren't looking to take advantage of us, that just genuinely is like, yo, we know what it feels like to be persecuted or whatever the case. And I want to help out. There are good people. There are good white people in the world.
There
There
is.
are good Mexican people. There are good things. It's just like we hate being summarized that everybody black is a gangbanger or sell drugs or come from the hood. Like we hate that stereotype. We should also practice not stereotyping every white person that drive a pickup truck or every Jewish person that owns a business or whatever the hell.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Kind-hearted. We're too kind-hearted.
We're
too kind-hearted. We too kind-hearted to everybody else, but we want to hold us accountable for every little thing.
But that's what make us us.
But, yeah, that's what makes us.
That's why we're behind. That's why we're at the bottom.
But you know what? Though? I have this thing where I see people winning. There's certain people around me that I know I see them winning in a certain capacity. And my kids were like, "Dang, Mom, you don't feel some type of way?" I said, "No." You know why? Because the route that they took to get there was not a route that was for me. I like the route that I'm doing. I like how I'm set up. I love the way that I am. And I think Black people as a whole, we have not gotten to a certain place as other people because we keep true to who we are. We don't necessarily believe in being nasty, being spiteful, or being hateful to make it to the top. That's just not who
Black
we are. We are loving.
Out of any fucking thing. The songs ain't working no more. No. The humming ain't working no more. The Negro spirituals ain't working no more. Sometimes you gotta bust a motherfucker upside the head and move on. If you willing
then that's gonna define us as the names that they put on us.
But let me finish. So y'all will bust y'all brother and sister upside the head, take a 20 bid y'all charge. Why not bust the white person in the head that's disrespecting you and killing your people as well?
She gonna get my show canceled. Adidas about to call me now. Adidas about to call me now.
I'm just saying, I was always team.
The words of CL is not aligned with Jamar Harris.
I'm gonna be on the Breakfast Club like Nori apologizing tomorrow and shit like that.
I know that, but I'm just saying, I feel like some of the songs ain't working no more. Sometimes you gotta fuck a motherfucker up to know that you ain't playing no more, and then won't nobody fuck with you no more.
Stop shopping at their stores. But this is my point. To make money go round, like this world go round. Stop shopping at their stores.
Right, but again, we were our own worst enemy when Jim Crow and civil rights thing, that whole thing ended because we left Black businesses alone.
The way these white people rally behind this one white man saying "shut that nigga down," why can't one Black person say "shut that nigga down" and shut all this shit down? The Black dollar is very, very mighty.
Very
Don't
powerful.
forget that. The Black vote is very, very mighty. So if we could stick together like them, we would own this shit and take over. But y'all not ready for that conversation though. But y'all got y'all show back.
Girl, I'm ready for that conversation, girl. You let me know when and where we can have that conversation, honey. I'm ready.
Hashtag accountability.
Accountability. Bust them up.
Accountability.
If one nigga is down to bust a nigga in the head and take the charge, everybody could grow instead of
nobody get mad at me for this comment.
I'm scared.
Black motherfucking businesses need to act like they got some motherfucking Black sense. Okay? Because they scare other Black people off because Black people don't like to shop Black because some Black businesses, they don't have customer service. The practices that I can go and get at a white store, God forgive me. And I said, hey, listen, I wasn't happy with this. Shaniqua ain't about to be sitting here cussing me out. Bitch, what you mean you ain't happy with it? Honey, and that's what we get sometimes. Let's not lie now. We just seen it on social media. When people
I gotta go. Let me say something real quick. Let me say something real quick, and then I need CL to close it out for me because I'm like behind this. My son's birthday, and then they're waiting on me fussing because they gotta wish him happy birthday.
We want to sing happy birthday too. All right.
So I want to thank all y'all, and I would love to continue this conversation and maybe get some more participants. And I want to take it further, and maybe we'll have the part 2 on Alora's podcast or something like that. Maybe we'll switch it to a different podcast platform and share the wealth of knowledge and get even more user and people involved and stuff like that. I would love to continue the conversation. I feel like it's needed. I think we need a panel of great minds, Black minds, like to get together at least once a month, taking turns on different platforms, continuing to carry the conversation where we have a meeting of these minds, trying to create and change the narrative and educate and stop the ignorance. Create accountability and stop the ignorance.
Amen.
All right, y'all. Appreciate y'all, man.
I appreciate all y'all. CL, thank you so much. Lord,
Thank you, y'all. Appreciate
thank,
y'all.
I love you, bro. Hey, thanks,
All right,
man.
Have a good one, ladies.
Bye, guys.
Out with the product of the 80s. I'm CL. I'm your hostess with the mostest. Jamar, thank you so much for having me. Y'all have a beautiful night and kick ass the rest of this week. I'm CL.
God bless y'all.
God bless, bro.
God bless y'all. Good night.
Bye.
Good night. Happy birthday, kids.